You've heard of it before, you've probably seen it more. Hey YouTube, Bleach AV here with the first episode of the first series in the channel. Let's go! How many of you have opened up to friends and families that you're a furry? How many people do you even know what that is? What a furry is? What even is a furry? What happens in the furry fandom? In the series Surviving the Furry Fandom, we're going to be taking on those questions. The series will take on topics one by one to not confuse people, of course. In short, this simplifies things and hopefully cures misunderstandings and misconceptions about the furry community. You know, just like that one CSI episode that nobody really talks about. Or that recent one wherein I don't know what show that was, honestly, but I retweeted it, and it didn't seem bad, honestly. I think they even have good fursuits or actual furries in that shot. So let's get on to it. The first question being, what is the furry community? It is a fandom or a subgroup in the internet that revolves and consists of furries. It is a family, it is a community, whatever you can call it. It is a group or a fandom, whatever you call it. Like I said, it's an open culture to anyone that enjoys anything furry related. Just like your average group or fandom, you got your Sherlock Holmes fandom, you got your Pokemon fandom, you got your Digimon fandom, you got your Star Trek fandom, you got your Harry Potter fandom, you got your fandom. So next up is, what is a furry? Furries are fans of cartoon animals, just like Robin Hood, just like Nick Wilde. That dog thing from Team Galaxy, I'm not sure if you guys ever watched that. Oh, I loved that show when I was a kid. Gary the Snail in that one strange SpongeBob episode wherein he was apparently really smart and all that stuff. Furries are people who like anthropomorphic animals, or animals with human characteristics. An example of this is talking. Humans talk with their own language. Walking, we walk on 2 feet. Driving, I guess. Honestly, anything that has anything to do with being human that animals regularly or usually can't do. The next question is, what is the fandom all about? Honestly, I think this is one of the most basic, frequently asked questions. In my opinion, the fandom is mostly about art. Drawing, painting, videography, sculpting, you name it, it's probably done in the furry fandom. But it all boils down to connecting with people who have the same interests as others. Just like every other group you can find on the internet. But being in the community, I think the very basic thing about the furry fandom that I can find and think of is when people make a persona of themselves. That gets them out of their shell and somewhat makes them comfortable and breathing. We'll talk about personas in another video. And lastly, what does it take to be a furry? Now, honestly, nothing. To some, being a furry is a hobby. To others, it's a lifestyle. When I joined the fandom, it was overwhelmingly open and variant. I guess that's, if you can call it that. To the point where I felt like, wow, there are others just like me. The fandom has always been this welcoming, cuddly, fuzzy, furry dormant for me. Being a furry doesn't discriminate age. It doesn't care what race you are. It doesn't care how poor, rich, or whatever you are. It doesn't care how good looking you are or how fit you are. And other shit like that. As long as you feel you're a part of the fandom, there's really no verification for that. But like I said before, I think the safe ground there is to just be a fan of cartoon characters and you're automatically a furry. So unfortunately that's going to be it for today, because this is a multi-episode or multi-parted series, so it doesn't get confusing. I do have a Twitter account, I'll link it down in the description below. So I'll give you this as an ending. What part of the fandom do you think is the most enjoyable? In my opinion, it's how we can interact with others and how we design our own life in the fandom. It's just like how a dog can have stripes and is neon green while having a purple inside. Or like how you can be an ice dragon that breathes fire and have like the tiniest fucking wings on your back. It's crazy how people design their personas, which you'll see in the next video, or probably the video after that. I don't know, we'll see, you'll see. That's been it for this episode, guys. Thank you very much. Peace!